full air. One single breath. While breathing out from here, from here, oh. While breathing out, three sounds, right? Om sounds are three, right? Who can do nicely? I want to see. Come on, start. First take full breathing. Again, one more time. Very good. You're doing nicely. But don't move. Why you are moving? You're only, nothing in your body is moving. Only sound is coming from here to here. Okay? Very good. Go to your next class. Very good that all the students today came in time except 2-3 kids. Okay?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We'll chant the Jai Radha Madhav prayers. Please repeat. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Krishna Balaram, Jayo Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jayo Krishna Balaram. Jayo Gauranitai, Jayo Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jayo Gauranitai. Jayo Srinivas Govinda, Jayo Srinivas Govinda, Jayo Srinivas Govinda, Jayo Srinivas Govinda. Jayo Prahlad Narsimha, Jayo Prahlad Narsimha, Jayo Prahlad Narsimha, Jayo Prahlad Narsimha. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki, Shri Srinivas Govinda ki, Shri Prahlad Narsimhadev ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. So please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we'll be reading from 10th chapter, text 8 today. So it's displayed on the screen. So please repeat after me. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Matta sarvam pravartate. Matta sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam. Iti matva bhajante mam. Buddha bhava samanvita. Buddha bhava samanvitaha. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Matta sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam. Buddha bhava samanvitaha. So we will do the word-to-word translation. Please repeat after me. Aham, I, sarvasya, of all, prabhavaha, source of generation, mattaha, from me, sarvam, everything, pravartate, emanates, iti, thus, matva, knowing, bhajante, becomes devoted, mam, unto me, buddhaha, learned, bhava samanvitaha, with great attention. Translation by His Divine Grace Abhay Charna Govinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So please repeat the translation. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A learned scholar who has studied the Vedas perfectly and has information from authorities like Lord Chaitanya and who knows how to apply these teachings can understand that Krishna is the origin of everything in both the material and spiritual worlds. And because he knows this perfectly, he becomes firmly fixed in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. He can never be deviated by any amount of nonsensical commentaries or fools. All Vedic literature agrees that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva, and all other demigods. In the Atharva Veda, it is said, Yo Brahmanam Vidadati Purvam Yo Vai Vedamscha Gapayati Sma Krishnaha. It was Krishna who in the beginning instructed Brahma in the Vedic knowledge and who disseminated the Vedic knowledge in the past. Then again it is said, Ata Purusho Havai Narayano Akamayata Prajahasreya iti upakramya. Then the Supreme Personality Narayana desired to create living entities. Again it is said, Narayanad Brahma Jayate, Narayanad Prajapati Prajayate, Narayanad Indro Jayate, Narayanad Astu Vasavo Jayante, Narayanad Ekadasa Rudra Jayante, Narayanad Dvadasa Dityaha. From Narayana, Brahma is born, and from Narayana, the patriarchs are also born. From Narayana, Indra is born. From Narayana, the 8 Vasus are born. From Narayana, the 11 Rudras are born. From Narayana, the 12 Adityas are born. It is said in the same Vedas, Brahmanyo Devaki Putraha. The son of Devaki, Krishna, is the Supreme Personality. Then it is said, Eko vai Narayana Asin, na Brahma na Isano napo nagni samau neme, dvaya prithvi na nakshatrani na suryaha sa ekaki na ramate tasya dhyayantaha stasya yatra chandogai kriyamanastakadi samyagnaka stuti stomaha stomam uchyate. In the beginning of the creation, there was only the Supreme Personality Narayana. There was no Brahma, no Shiva, no fire, no moon, no stars in the sky, no sun. There was only Krishna, who creates all and enjoys all. In the many Puranas, it is said that Lord Shiva was born from the highest, the Supreme Lord Krishna. And the Vedas say that it is the Supreme Lord, the creator of Brahma and Shiva, who is to be worshipped. In the Moksha Dharma, Krishna also says, Prajapatim cha rudram chapi aham eva srijami vaitau himam na vijanito mama maya vimohito. The patriarchs, Shiva and others, are created by me, though they do not know that they are created by me because they are deluded by my illusory energy. In Varaha Purana, it is also said, Narayana paro devas tasmaj jatas chaturmakaha tasmad rudro bhavad devaha sacha sarvagnatam gataha. Narayana is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and from him Brahma was born, from whom Shiva was born. Lord Krishna is the source of all generations, and he is called the most efficient cause of everything. He says that because everything is born of me, I am the original source of all. Everything is under me. No one is above me. There is no supreme controller other than Krishna. One who understands Krishna in such a way, from a bona fide spiritual master and from Vedic literature, who engages all his energy in Krishna consciousness, becomes a truly learned man. In comparison to him, all others who do not know Krishna properly are but fools. Only a fool would consider Krishna to be an ordinary man. A Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by fools. He should avoid all unauthorized commentaries and interpretations on Bhagavad Gita and proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness. Thus ends the purport. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitanyena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. So today we are discussing from this 10th chapter, text 8. This 10th chapter is titled as the Opulence of the Absolute. And what is happening here is Krishna is describing about his opulences, his greatness, his magnanimity. Actually, everything that Krishna speaks about himself turns out to be magnanimous and very great, because Krishna is also known as Urukrama, the performer of humongous activities, Urukrama. And in the beginning, Krishna starts by telling Arjuna, I'll read the translation of the first verse. He says, the Supreme Lord said, My dear friend, mighty armed Arjuna, listen again to my supreme word, which I shall impart to you for your benefit, and which will give you great joy. So here is what Krishna is now imparting knowledge about himself, which will give great joy to Arjuna and all the devotees. So this is a very famous verse actually. Krishna here says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo. aham, I, sarvasya, everything, prabhavo, I am the source of generation, I am the origin. So Krishna is saying, I am the origin of everything. Matta sarvam pravartate, and everything is emanating from me. Iti matva, by knowing this, so this is very important. Iti matva, bhajante mam. What happens? One who knows this, bhajante, he worships or becomes devoted. Buddha, buddha, buddhi. Buddhi means intelligence. Buddha means the learned person, one who is actually intelligent. Buddha, and what happens? The learned person, bhava samanvitaha. Bhava means emotion. Right? Here it is said, bhava, with great attention. Bhavagrahi Janardanaha. Krishna is known as one who captures our emotion. Deep down, what is that in our heart? Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. What does that mean? Sometimes we may not have very opulent facilities to worship the Lord. But then, we have that deep, intention, emotion for the Lord. Yes, you were saying something? This chapter is 10th chapter, verse 8. So, Buddha Bhava Samanvitaha. Krishna is saying one worships with bhava, with great emotion, with great attention. And Krishna is actually looking for that bhava. And what is this bhakti? Bhakti is also actually bhava. Bhakti is an emotion, right? But generally, because bhakti is emotion, generally it is understood that emotion, there is no real strong basis of knowledge. It springs out of, some kind of infatuation or attraction, right? Sometimes we see in these movies, a young boy sees a beautiful girl. Immediately he goes, and if he is courageous enough, he says, oh, I am in love with you, I love you. What does he even know about her, right? It's just some kind of infatuation. He got attracted by the beautiful features. And then he says, I am in love with you. So in general, people think, this love, this emotion, it's not really based on, very strong foundation of, knowledge and jnana and things like that. So and that is why when even devotion comes, bhakti comes, when we say bhakti yoga, devotion, people, if you say, oh, I perform devotional service, or, he is a devotee, he goes to temple, he has devotion. They think it is some kind of, some emotion, no real basis. And unfortunately, a lot of people are on that platform too. They have devotion to the Lord out of some, whimsical reasons sometimes. I remember when I was in 10th grade, I thought, that I might not make through one of the subject. I was not doing good. So I was praying randomly to all pictures of gods I see. And then there was a particular picture of a god in my room which my brother put it up. And I prayed to him also. For whatever reason, after my 10th results came, I thought, oh, it's because of this god, And I became a devotee of that particular god for some years. So what I'm trying to say is, a lot of times what happens, people are in difficulty, and somehow or other, somebody tells, if you pray to the Lord, and and if it comes out, if you get good results, then you think, yes, God has helped me, and we become a devotee of God. But unfortunately, what happens, that is not based on any knowledge or understanding of God. It is very flickering, very delicate. I'll tell you a practical experience. So I was in Detroit, a few years ago. So there was this, one of my colleagues requested me to address an assembly where they were actually mourning for the loss of, a person over there. So this person actually, he was, like us, he was a software engineer. And he had 2 children. He got married, some years ago. And his wife and his wife's brother, right, the brother-in-law, they were all in the same town. And unfortunately, what happened, because of an accident, this person passed away. So he had 2 children and his wife remaining, young children, young wife. And the brother-in-law was also like in 30s. So they were all very disappointed. They were mourning. So my friend requested, why don't you go and speak something from Bhagavad Gita and, do something so that you can give them some solace. So, I spoke something from Bhagavad Gita. We did some kirtans and everything is over. And then his brother-in-law comes. He says, okay, everything you say, it's okay, sounds good. And then he told, I want to tell you my personal, situation. So he was saying, my brother-in-law was actually a very pious man. He would never hurt anybody. And, he was always religious. He would go to temple and all that. And then this happened. And he says, I was a very staunch devotee of Srinivas, Govinda, Balaji, right? We have the Balaji. So he says he would have a picture of Balaji in his room, wherever he would go during all his studies, college. Now also he's staying in a room with his friends. He's working. First thing he gets up in the morning, he will not even open his eyes. He will actually turn towards the wall. He knows where the picture of the Balaji is there, and he opens the eyes and he looks at the picture of the Lord, and that's when he continues his day. So much faith, devotion he had. And then he says, we were all religious, we were all pious people, but then this happened. Now I have lost faith in God. Now that picture is still there in my room, but I can't even look at it. Every day morning I get up, I remind myself, I remember that, I used to look at this, but I can't see anymore. What has God done to us? What have we done that, so and so has happened? Actually, now, thinking loud, I don't believe in God. I don't think even God exists. Right? This is not just what has happened to us. See the state of his mind. He had such a staunch faith, such strong devotion, right? What else do we call if somebody is so fixed up that first thing in the morning he gets up, he does nothing, but looks at the picture of the Lord. But then he was such a strong devotee, right? One could say one is a strong devotee, or in general. But then what happened? A big reversal in life has happened. Now he has lost faith in God. He doesn't believe in God. He's even become an atheist. Because why is this happening? Why? Anybody can say why this happened? Why did he was such a strong devotee and suddenly he became like an atheist? He's not devotee of the Lord anymore. What is the reason? Foundation is not strong. And what is the foundation? Foundation is the knowledge. One should actually understand, I have devotion to the Lord. What does devotion to the Lord in general mean? I pray to Lord fulfills my wishes, I become a stronger devotee. I pray even more wishes fulfilled, I am even wonderful devotee. I will do very nice devotion. Everything is going good. And then something starts going wrong. Oh, I don't know, something happened. I don't think God even exists. See, such a strong devotee will become, because the foundation is very weak. So the understanding, the knowledge is missing. One has to know, right? To become a devotee, yes, having some faith, praying to the Lord, that is definitely good. Krishna says, Chaturvida bhajante mam sukruta arjuna. The 4 kinds of people. Artho artati gnani jignasu. So one who is in distress, one who is in need of money, these people also go to the Lord, they pray, they worship. But they should not be stuck on that platform. They have to evolve themselves. And that is what Krishna is trying to do here. Why did Krishna speak Bhagavad Gita? Why did he speak? Because we all might fall into the trap, Though we are pious, we have some faith, we know there is God, the Lord exists. But then there could be circumstances in life which would actually cushion our own inherent thought that, do you think God really exists? Do you think God really is helping you? So that is the problem. When there is no knowledge, no foundation, that bhakti is actually just sentiment. And because of this, in general, a lot of people, they don't have very much, oh yeah, he was a devotee, now he's not a devotee anymore, something happened. So this is why it is very important. A real devotee is Buddha Bhava Samanvitaha. Buddha means learned, knowledge. So this is the first thing Prabhupada is saying. The moment, if we want to actually become a devotee of the Lord, if we want to be, continue devotional service to the Lord, if we actually want to build our relationship with the Lord, if we want to, attain perfection in our devotional service, this is very important. What is very important? This knowledge. I'll read the first line of purport again. A learned scholar who has studied the Vedas perfectly and has information from authorities like Lord Chaitanya, who knows how to apply these teachings, can understand that Krishna is the origin of everything, both material and spiritual worlds. And because he knows this perfectly, he becomes firmly fixed in devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So this perfect knowledge is very important. So that is why, we are all spending time and, sitting here trying to understand Bhagavad Gita to attain that perfect knowledge. And that's what Krishna is saying, from the beginning of the 4th chapter. He says, Janma karma chave vetti yo tattvataha. Janma karma. So one has to know his appearance, his karma. Vetti tattvataha means knowledge. Tattva means, in knowledge, in actuality, in reality, not just, superficially. One has to know very deeply. So much so that Prabhupada said, one should read Bhagavad Gita scrutinizingly. You see the word scrutinizing? When do we scrutinize? When we go to the gold shop and we are buying gold, we scrutinize. How do we see? You remember maybe your uncle told, do something, scratch somewhere and see, you can figure out. So what we do, we scrutinize very carefully, so much attention, right? If somebody is talking, let's say your child is pulling you, oh, wait, give me 1 minute, I'll get back to you, right? Very scrutinizing, very focused. So in that way, we should understand Bhagavad Gita also scrutinizingly. Every word, there is so much meaning, so much, to understand. And that is very important for us to be actually a successful human being, for us to be actually a successful devotee also. So this is very important, the knowledge. And Krishna is revealing this knowledge. We don't have to, worry about now how do I get all this knowledge. Here it is said, one who has studied the Vedas. Oh my God, does that mean I have to read all the Vedas now? No. Yes and no. You have to read all the Vedas, but not, go and find every individual Veda. Yajurveda, Atharvaveda, Samaveda. You just read Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because Bhagavad Gita is the summary of all the Vedas. Krishna says, Vedaham samatitani, Vedescha sarver ahameva vedyaha. The whole purpose of the Vedas is to know me, to understand me. And Krishna here is directly telling about himself. And what did he say here? I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. So Krishna, what he just said here, actually happens to be the definition of God. So Krishna is actually, he's saying directly, I am the Supreme Lord. And Prabhupada is giving very nice references from the Vedic literature. As we have read here, there are so many references, right, in the purport. So Prabhupada is giving reference from the Atharva Veda and from the Moksha Dharma and from different Vedas and Puranas. Everywhere it is said, Krishna is the origin, he is the original person. So what is the definition of God? It is in Brahma Samhita, there is a nice statement where Lord Brahma says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Anadi. Anadi means one who has no origin. Adi means origin. Anadi, he has no origin. Anadir, but Adir. But he is the source of everything. Right? So if you analyze, everything has a source in this world. Everything has a source. You can trace back everything. So if I find this microphone, there is a company name written, we can go, we can find the company, and then who founded it, how it founded, everything. We can find out the source of everything. In this way, we go on and on and on, but actually it will start becoming little difficult to comprehend, right? So we see that, ultimately the source is the raw material, and the raw material has come from earth. And what is the source of earth? Well, scientifically they say earth was a part of a sun and it broke off, right? They all, planets are nothing but they're parts of sun and now they're orbiting. Even that, if you think like that, yes, then earth is part of sun, then what is the origin of sun? And they say, oh, there is whole galaxy, everything is built, and it is said, oh, there was a big bang. The bang is the origin of the sun. Then you take one step back, who created the bang? Right? In our all life, have we ever seen a bang happening without any cause? Diwali we all celebrate. Can we say suddenly, oh, all of a sudden all these crackers are, blowing up on their own? No, there is a source. Somebody is lighting the, those Diwali crackers. So even if you think it is the big bang that has caused the whole thing, who has caused the bang? That the modern scientists don't have the answer, right? Well, there is the source, the origin is Krishna. Even though the bang, actually in the Vedic literature say that Krishna, the whole creation happened. So one could say that, when creation happened, there was light and, there was sound emanation, one could easily say. But who caused it? That was Krishna. So the origin is Krishna. Now one might think, well, if everything has an origin and origin is Krishna, can we apply the same logic? What is the origin for Krishna? What do you say? If everything has origin, what is the origin for Krishna? Any thoughts? There is no origin for Krishna. Why? Because Krishna is God. That is the definition of God. The definition is God is who is the original person. He is the original. He is the origin. That's it. There is nothing else. So asking who is the origin of God is like asking one who is studying science. Teacher is telling about the different states: liquid, solid, gas. Solid has a shape. Liquid takes whatever shape. And if the student asks what is the shape of a liquid, that means he didn't understand what liquid is. Liquid actually has no shape, right? It will take whatever shape the container it puts. It doesn't really have a shape. You can't, take dimensions of liquid. So asking what is the origin of God, the question itself is wrong. God is one who is the origin and who has no origin. And now that will explain all the various things that we see around us. There was once a statement by a scientist or somebody. He said, if you ever want to witness miracles, he said, observe nature. Everything that's happening in nature is a miracle, isn't it? You take small seeds, you can take a seed of a chili, you can take a seed of a fruit-bearing plant. Both look very small, very tiny. You start watering, and there is so much mechanism in it that the plant comes, a tree, a fruit, and flower, and everything. And the fruit, the chili is very spicy, and then the fruit-bearing tree, like some other fruit, it's very sweet. Isn't it miraculous that something so small, tiny you put, and something is coming? And how is all this happening? Who has created it? Right? Everything you take, there is a mechanism. Prabhupada gives a simple logic that matter cannot organize on its own. Matter has to be manipulated by a living force. Like take for example, same thing. Everything that we are seeing around us here, it didn't come about on its own. It's all matter, right? Essentially, it's all matter. All the periodic table, 108, whatever number of chemicals. You break down, everything is just matter. Now, how did everything come into place? There was a living force behind this that has put everything in place. And now when it comes to nature, when we see these plants and different natural experiences, what do we say? Oh, it's just happening automatically. How can it happen automatically? Because that is also matter. It is getting together just like a flower plant. You put a seed, and from earth is matter. From earth, the stem is coming, the leaves are coming, the flower is coming. That is also matter. You analyze, you take it. It is all just hydrocarbons, right? Then how did a beautiful creation come? How can matter organize on itself? There has to be a life, a living force. Intelligent creation implies an intelligent creator. So that intelligent creator is the Supreme Lord. He is the origin. He is the source. So when we see all the wonderful creations around us, people are, the scientists, the philosophers, they're bewildered. They don't know how this is happening. But one who reads the Vedic scriptures, they know that, oh, this is how it is happening. Krishna is the origin. So that is a very important thing to understand. And here, other important thing to understand is this bhava. The bhava is the emotional stage or the emotion. It is known as, Prabhupada also translates as transcendental emotion. So how can one come to the stage of bhava? Here it is said, by one knowing Krishna perfectly, one comes to the, one worships him with bhava. But actually to come to that stage, it is a progressive scientific steps involved. So in the Upadeshamrita, in the nectar of instruction, actually, Rupa Goswami, he gives the sequence of how one can come to the bhava. The highest stage of spiritual perfection is prema bhakti, pure devotional service to the Lord in love, right? Yome bhaktya prayachati. Krishna is always looking for this. Bhakti is actually love. It's a loving emotion. It's a loving devotion to the Lord. Now, how can we suddenly love the Lord? We can't. It requires, a process of getting connected to Krishna. Just like if I introduce you so-and-so person and say, can you please start loving him? Can we do that? What do you mean? I don't even know who this person is. So in the same way, we have to learn, understand, apply the teachings, practically apply. So that is why here it is Prabhupada actually uses, what does he say? One who can understand the teachings and one who knows how to apply these teachings. So we have to practically apply the teachings also. So it is said the stages, different stages involved to come to the bhava starts with Shraddha, Adav Shraddha. So the first step is faith. One should have faith in the spiritual master, in the Vedic literature, in the Vedic scriptures, in the the saintly people. So one has faith, what happens? Then he will show some interest to associate with them. Adav Shraddha tata sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha means one will then associate with the devotees. Like we have created this temple for what reason? To create an opportunity of sadhu sangha, so that all devotees get together and they, read, understand from Bhagavad Gita. They follow the teachings of the spiritual master. What is the spiritual master trying to do? He's trying to make all of us sadhu. Sadhu means a devotee of the Lord. So Adav Shraddha tata sadhu sangha. Once we then associate with devotees. And then what happens? Tata bhajan kriya. So the next step is we will perform devotional service, bhajana kriya. Because once you have some faith, you come to the association of devotees. What do they recommend? The devotees recommend some bhajana kriya. Do some worship, chant Hare Krishna, eat prasadam, do some seva in the service. This is all called bhajan kriya. So once we do bhajan kriya, what happens? The next step is tata anartha nivritti. So this is a very important stage. We can't directly become devotee of the Lord. We can't directly go to the platform of loving God unless we go through these stages. This is a scientific progressive, stages. So the next stage, once we perform, why is it important to perform bhajan kriya? We request everyone, please chant Hare Krishna. Why is it important? Because without chanting Hare Krishna, without performing bhajan kriya, anartha nivritti won't happen. What is anartha nivritti? Artha means something needed. Anartha means unwanted. Unwanted things in our heart, anartha nivritti. What are the anarthas? Very clearly, very high level. Lust, greed, anger, jealousy, envy, illusion. These are all anarthas. We are completely under a different kind of influences, unwanted influences. It is not needed. We don't have to be greedy. Right? There is a statement, there is enough in this world for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. Greed is the cause of the problem all over the world. Actually, there is no problem. If actually everyone gives up greediness, there is no problem. There is this black market, there is this stalking, there is this hiding and bribes and money. Everything is because of greed. If greed goes away, then there is more than enough for everyone's need. So the real problem is not of the resources. The real problem is the greed, because of which the resources are hidden or not made accessible to everybody. So this anartha nivritti is a very important stage. So when we chant Hare Krishna, when we perform bhajan kriya, all the anarthas in the heart will go away. What will happen? We'll get rid of lust, greed, anger, envy, jealousy. Our heart becomes nirmala. Nirmala means clean. And actually it becomes a place. Currently, unfortunately, the heart is like dirty, like a very black and a dirty place, how it will be. But once it is clean, it is suitable. Let's say a guest comes to your home and there is one chair. If it is very dirty, will you allow him to sit? So no, please wait. You clean the chair very nicely and then we'll make him sit. So that's the situation in our heart. There is so much dirt in our heart. It all has to be cleansed. Only then the Lord can come and be seated. Only then we can actually focus on the Lord and cultivate devotion towards the Lord. So the anartha nivritti is a stage which we all have to go through, and that will happen only by bhajan kriya. And then what happens after anartha nivritti? There is another stage. The next stage is tata nishta. Nishta means is also faith, but it is firm faith. Because initially the faith is komala shraddha. When we first come to Krishna consciousness or when we first take up spiritual practices, the faith is very delicate, right? We have some faith, but it's not very strong. It can be easily, shaken away. But once we perform bhajan kriya, once we get rid of the anarthas in the heart, once we have enough spiritual strength, what happens? Our faith becomes very firm. That is called nishta. And then that is the stage after the anartha nivritti. We become very fixed up. And then nobody can, deviate us. Like Prabhupada says here, at that point of time, they won't be distracted by fools and rascals, right? And he can never be deviated by any amount of nonsensical commentaries or by fools. Because what happens if the faith is very delicate, a nonsensical commentary or some other fool can disturb us. So that nishta stage is very important. And after nishta, what happens? In the firm faith, one continues to perform bhajan kriya, then there will be ruchi. Ruchi means taste. There will be taste for devotional service. Initially, devotional service is out of regulation. The spiritual master is saying, chant Hare Krishna. The temple commander is saying, do this service, do this seva, it is good for you. Right? It's all a theoretical platform. Oh, it is good for me, let me do. Out of faith, we do it. But then after nishta, there is ruchi. There is a taste for devotional service. So we will not chant because I have to chant. We will chant because I get to chant. So once one devotee told, keep these two words in mind always. Have to and I get to. If you're doing anything with the perspective of, oh, I have to, that means you're not in the correct platform. But if you're thinking I get to, then you're in the right platform. Just like office, oh, I have to go to work. Long weekend, I get to go to Lake Tahoe. So when there is relishment of pleasure, that is I get to. So this ruchi, because of the taste, one will actually do out of his own intrinsic interest because he likes it. And that the next stage is asakti. Once you have taste for something, asakti is attachment. You will get attachment to the process. So now the devotional service that has started as a regulation out of some faith has now become a very tasty, very joyful activity. And that leads to bhava. When one is in nishta, one has, gained attraction, one who has taste for the devotional service, then that would lead to the bhava, the transcendental emotional stage. That is what Krishna is saying, Buddha bhava samanvitaha, right? Manmana bhava madbhaktho bhava, with emotion, become my devotee. with that emotion, the deep emotion deep down in the heart, which won't get shaken at any point of time. No matter whatever biggest difficulty comes, the faith is so strong, the love, the attachment is so strong that it can't shake you. You will know that Krishna is my well-wisher. Even though the so-called negativity I'm going through in my life, Krishna has sanctioned it. If He is my Lord, He is the supreme well-wisher, He is the origin of the universe, He is the supreme controller. If He has sanctioned this for me, who am I to protest? He is better than me. He knows better than me, right? Like the doctor. You go, he says, oh, I have to give you injection. You think, okay, he knows better than me, you'll take the injection. Now we'll say, I have to do surgery. Oh my God, needle, I was okay. Now knife and cutting me apart. No, sorry. Will you walk away? Still you have faith in the doctor. No, he is my well-wisher. He knows. He has very good name. So many, so-and-so surgeon. You will still endure the pain, right? Is it fun to get surgery done and big band-aid and not able to walk, sit? Still you have the faith because doctor is your well-wisher. In the same way, when we have the strong faith on the Lord and His sanction of various circumstances of our life, we will be still very strong. Just like we endure the surgery, we will endure the difficulty in our life. And we will never become atheist, or we will never doubt the Lord. And then the next stage of bhava is prema. Prema bhakti is pure love. So bhava and prema are very close. Bhava is like the preliminary stage of prema, it is said. And then the final perfection is prema bhakti. One becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. So I'll stop here. So we will all chant Hare Krishna mantra now, because we want to go through all the stages. We want to hit the final stage. We don't want to stop in the beginning, right? So this process will help us in anartha nivritti. And one who has crossed the stage of anartha nivritti, can he stop chanting? One who has crossed? Actually, he is the person, you can't stop him from chanting, because he has got a taste. After anartha nivritti, there is ruchi and asakti. He says, don't stop me to, don't ask me to stop chanting. I will go on chanting. So chanting is such a process, which is the beginning, which is the middle, and which is the end also. Kirtanaya sadahiri, right? So that is why this is a very transcendental process. So we will all spend few minutes and chant Hare Krishna. So before we start chanting, please repeat the Guru Pranam mantra and the Panchatattva mantra, and then we'll all chant Hare Krishna mantra together. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine